wild card weekend. On Mars Daylight, Gio Bernard, fire the cannons.
When you put a BUCS helmet on, there's a level of expectation. You just have to be the best you.
Caught ball, Evans sees got a Tampa Bay touchdown, and the BUCS put the dagger in the heart of the Eagles.
When guys go down, other guys have to step in and do the best they could do, and they're counted on in big moments, and glad we can really count on those guys. We're going to need it again next week. It only gets tougher from here.
Tom Brady and the BUCS began their postseason in pursuit of a second straight title with a dominant win over the Eagles, 31-15. Brady had 2 pass TDs and has 85 career playoff TDs, 40 more than the next closest quarterback. Rob Gronkowski had a quiet day aside from his TD, but climbed to 4th on the all-time postseason list for receiving yards and 3rd in career postseason receptions. Stephen A.
Yeah.
Can Brady lead them back? Can they run it back?
I don't believe so this year.
Okay.
Obviously, that's sacrilegious because we're talking about the GOAT, Tom Brady, and I get all of that. But I'm thinking about the fact that Chris Godwin is out.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown is not going to be there.
Yep.
The reliance on Rob Gronkowski is what it is, and you understand the chemistry that they have. But when you talk about Green Bay, Lambeau Field, when you talk about Arizona or Los Angeles, because they get the winner of that game tonight, and you think about what they can potentially bring to the table defensively to neutralize what Brady and them normally wants to do. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint that, for me personally, could they do it? Sure, but I don't believe they will. I got Green Bay going to the Super Bowl. Let me get that out the way. And here's what I want to say, because I've been off, and I want to say this about Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is a disgrace. I watched over the last several weeks, and I didn't have a chance to get this out. Let me be very, very clear. He has betrayed the organization. He has betrayed Tom Brady. Now, he could sit up there and clean up his comments about Brady over the last few days like he did all he wanted to. But after all Brady did for him in New England and then in Tampa, and you living in his home and him looking out for you and all of this other stuff, the game before he had his meltdown, he was targeted about 12 different damn times.
Yeah.
And then you looking for a bonus, and you act up because you're not getting targeted enough, and you want to get out the game, and then you're gonna go on some podcast. I forgot which one. I apologize. I ain't knocking the podcast at all. I forgot which one it was, but he's talking about Brady's my friend because of football, because of what I could do for him.
Yeah.
Everywhere you turn, he took shots in Pittsburgh at Roethlisberger. He took shots at Juju Smith-Schuster, who was a rookie on the come up, looking up to this dude as a mentor. He goes to Oakland, and what do they do? People forget this. It is a Thursday. Antonio Brown, all he has to do is shut the hell up and don't say anything. And he gets his money, $29 million that Tuesday morning. He missed out on $29 million, y'all, because he couldn't shut up for 4 days. Does anybody understand the magnitude of that stupidity? I mean, are we going to really put it in perspective? Shut up, Dan. Shut up, Michael Irvin. Shut up, Molly. All you got to do is shut up for 5 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday morning, you guaranteed $29 million. And he couldn't do it. Nobody brings this stuff up. And I bring all of that up to say, I remember the Burfict hit years ago. Like my man Rodney Harrison pointed out, that might be, CT. We don't know what the hell's going on. But barring that, this dude has thrown people under the bus. He's betrayed trust. He talks smack about you, after supposedly being cool with you. Antonio Brown is fine until you need him. The second you need him, he abuses the privilege. And Tom Brady has had to work through all of that, which I think he could if Chris Godwin was healthy.
Yeah.
The fact that Godwin is out and Antonio Brown ain't there, and Green Bay looks the way that they do, with San Francisco being physical, with Kyler Murray in Arizona or Matthew Stafford in L.A. being those teams, I think it's asking entirely too much in this particular season because of all of those things taken into consideration. I do not believe that Tom Brady can lift the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Let me just say this real quick about AB. In his statement, he said that it was not a mental health issue. It was that he was forced to play hurt. So just to give his side of the story there.
Everybody's trying to they're forcing everybody to play hurt. That's the reality of the business we're in. You know, coach will tell you, hey, can you go, man? I don't know, coach. Just can you get out here and try it for us? So we get that every week, every game, you know. And let me say this. I'm by no means a perfect man. By no means a perfect man. But the one thing that's dear to me is the game of football and how it's structured and how we owe each other what we owe each other. There's a commitment that we give each other when we step on the football field. We're going to give each other all we have. And if we can be there, we will be there no matter what. Loyalty to that process is everything to me. You know, Troy stepped in for me at a low point. There's nothing you can ever do in your life to make me turn on him because of my loyalty to him, because he stepped in at a low point. That made my heart bleed when he went after Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple made my heart bleed. I had seen Tom earlier this year at the Hall of Fame. And I took a picture with him. I posted a picture. But what we were talking about at the back of the hall, in the back room at the Hall of Fame, was Antonio Brown. And how much he loved Antonio Brown. And I was saying, man, I shared with him about me and Troy. I said, man, I appreciate you. I said, I'm always with you for that. I'm with, because that means something to me. Yeah. Made my heart bleed. Yeah. Man, but by the same token, when I saw it, I think I saw Tampa Bay's ring hopping and skipping off the field with it. When I saw that mess, I was like, wow. Hopping and skipping off with
and doing jumping jacks. Let's not forget the jumping jacks.
But you're right. Brady covered for him so many times.
And all they talk about only because I play football. Dude, you were out of football.
That's right.
You were not playing football.
That's right.
And he was trying to pull you back in because, like if you're a pure football player, you need a hook to hold someone. No matter what's going on with them, what's the hook? The hook was football. And he was like, let me just get you back to the hook so we can get you back to a different place. So listen, I don't believe that they have an opportunity, that we'll get to a Super Bowl, only because of how Brady plays and what we saw yesterday. And we were just talking about that on that under route. That was Johnson coming across on the under route. On the under route, you know, if it's man, you got to keep going. If it's zone, you got to sit down. He slowed down. Brady threw it as he's supposed to keep speeding up. And that miscommunication made me say, whoa, if they can't clean that up right now, they got no shot.
Yeah, no, I think my point with Tom and the Buccaneers is, yes, I think they can still go on their Super Bowl run. One, because that offensive line, the offensive line that's the best unit in the NFC playoffs, to be honest with you.
Big boy got hurt last night, yesterday, though, with that ankle.
So that's still the part that gives me pause. More than Godwin out right now and AB out right now. Because, Stephen A., you said it's too much for Tom Brady. I think he's proven to us that nothing is too much for Tom Brady. If Tristan Wirfs is not as hurt as in moments of yesterday's game he looked to be, then I still think this team can go on a Super Bowl run because of the Big Five up front. They're phenomenal. And I also think this. What's up?
You think that makes they're not a great running team?
It's all about
So Brady's making that offensive line better and making them good by getting rid of the ball, getting rid of it quickly. Now he doesn't have the receivers to get rid of it quickly too. That changes things. That takes away from that offensive line. Because now you're going to have to hold on to that ball a little longer with some of these guys that come.
That offensive line is the best unit in football. It is. Tom helps them play better, but they also are dominant. I mean, Jensen's phenomenal. Wirfs is an all-pro. Marpet's an all-pro. Why
can't I see them do what San Fran do and just say, I'm going to run you to dead?
Because I'm
going to run you to dead. I see San Fran do that.
Because that's not who they are. Now, when they need to be it with Fournette, when Leonard Fournette comes back healthy, but that's not who they are. I would say this because a lot of people are Tom still has two gold jackets throwing the football to. Like Rob Gronkowski and Mike Evans are two gold jackets. And they've kind of simplified stuff. We're saying we trust our offensive line. I'm putting Mike over there. Mike one-on-one, go win. Gronk worked the middle of the field. If Wirfs is healthy, I'd also say this, one last point. The fact that San Francisco is the matchup versus Green Bay gives them a huge advantage.
Right.
That is not a good matchup for Green Bay.
It's not. I take that too.
I agree with you.
If they're healthy.
I agree with you as well. I agree with you as well. I agree with you as well, but Aaron Rodgers will find a way. Let me say a couple of things about Tom Brady. Number one, the man brought Antonio Brown into his house with his wife and his children.
Right.
Somebody betrays you when you do something like that for them. You're done. Just done, number one. But number two, you say it's hard to bet against Tom Brady because he's done it all. Well, I will remind you, from 2004 to 2014, he didn't win a Super Bowl at all.
That's 7 years ago. 8 years ago.
And I will also remind you that he left New England because he didn't have the weapons necessary in order to get it done.
Sure.
And so when you talk about injuries on the offensive line, when we talk about the absence of Antonio Brown, when we talk about the injury to Chris Godwin, those are plausible reasons as to why Tampa might not win this year. It doesn't take anything away from Tom Brady and his greatness.
You can't bet against
those
that
are
guy.
those are